Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be hiking in the Appalachians very soon, so I'm pre-filming this video just for you. We've got some loose complete items. Anytime I need to make a video, it's really easy to do it because I can pick out some nice looking items that sold on eBay that are loose complete. It doesn't have to be graded. Not everybody collects graded. And I think it gives people a good idea if they have a hole in their collection, a search item that they're looking for. It at least gives them a good idea of what prices are like on eBay for that particular item in the condition as advertised. So, as always, thanks to my Patreon supporters. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I tried to provide price guides for vintage and modern Star Wars toys. Please consider subscribing. If you're new to the channel, it's really fun. We have a lot of fun here, man. I'm telling you, you can't beat talking about old toys with a bunch of nerds, because that's what we are. We're a bunch of nerds. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. I've got some action figures as well as play sets, creatures, vehicles, all kinds of good stuff. We've got the Patrol Duback. This was the collector series. The big thing to keep in mind is the reins. Make sure that the reins are not cracked or broken. Assuming that is the case on this one, this sold for $140 plus shipping, $10 shipping, $150 plus the box, which was kind of tatty. But to get an unbroken reins Duback for $150, that's about market, I would say. You might get it for a little bit less than that on Facebook and things like that, but I thought that was a pretty clean example for $150 after shipping. Here was the TIE Fighter. It included the inserts, the instruction sheet, which they did a nice job of using like a comic book, backer board with, cover to keep those in really clean condition. I like how they did that. And then obviously the inserts were in pretty mint condition. The box itself was also very minty. LP, long play logo. Now it was stickers applied, so this would not be qualified gradable because the stickers had already been applied. But still, that's a very clean example. And it sold for $432 plus shipping. Two different Millennium Falcons sold. Both of them were advertised as complete. This one had a really nice looking Star Wars racetrack box. So, the original issue, I assume. And this one sold for $600. Look how, it's not perfect, right? You can see some damage to the box. But at least from the front, if you're displaying it on a shelf, which most people do, that would present very nicely. So $600. And it was advertised as complete with all of the accessories plus the Jedi training ball that you see right here. That's usually the item that's most commonly missing, is that little training ball that is hung up. And then we also had the Empire Strikes Back packaging for the Millennium Falcon. The box was in pretty similar condition, I would say, 100% complete. You can see the Jedi training ball there as well. Stickers applied on this one. That one sold for $300 on one bid plus $30 shipping. So $330 for the ESB example versus this one that sold for $600 with the Star Wars box. Next up, we had the Death Star Space Station playset, one of the coolest items that I never had. And again, you want to make sure that it has the hard-to-find item, which is kind of the swinging rope. They did a nice close-up of that so you could see it. So that's usually the most common item that's missing. It also did include the Dianoga Trash Monster there. That one sold for $340 plus $16 shipping. Next up, we had the Star Destroyer playset. This one was advertised as complete. We talked about this one in a recent video. I thought this was just kind of a weird playset, but I always loved it. It had the meditation chamber for Darth Vader and then a big gun pointing off. Kind of a condensed version. And $157.50 was the final winning bid on this auction. 21 bids plus $13.50 shipping. This was a beautiful example of the Rebel transport in the Empire Strikes Back packaging. It had all of the items still in the baggies, unused sticker sheet with the instruction sheet. It had all the survival kit, gas masks and backpacks inside the sealed, baggie. And the box, look how clean that box was. Now, I think this one would qualify for qualified grading. And that one sold for $500 plus $20 shipping. I thought that was a really good deal there. You can see how clean that box is. That was just a minty box for the Rebel transport with the ESP packaging. Some 12-inch figures First was a loose complete Jawa. That one sold over in the UK for 125 pounds, which is $163. Over here in the US, you can find them $110 to $140. Thereabout is a pretty safe price range. And then we also had Han Solo. This was complete with the hard to find metal. You got to make sure that that necklace is included. And that one sold for $117.50. As a side note, at the ICCC 2024 lobby sales, somebody did have the Lily Letty version complete with the alternate blaster. It looks like an old pirate blaster. It's like silver. It's kind of like a swashbuckling blaster. And you know it's the Lily Letty because he's got a neck tattoo with the Lily Letty logo on it. So that was really cool to see. I can't remember what he was asking for it. I think it was $850 if memory serves, somewhere in that ballpark. But it was loose and complete. It wasn't perfect, but it was really nice. So $117.50 for the standard US version. We also did have another blue Snags that sold. It was pretty clean. It had one little rub on the boot there that you can see there. But, you know, the belt buckle was pretty clean. It did have some rubs on the hand, so it was not perfect. This is probably a 75 plus, maybe an 80 grade if the graders are generous with you. But I would say 75 plus to be safe. It did not have any torso discoloration. $500 on that one, free shipping. We had a baggie that sold from Gold Star Tech. This was the ESB-C baggie for the AT-AT driver. That one sold for $127.50. That's a tougher baggie to find. I feel like any of the AT-AT drivers in sealed baggies, very tough to find. But $127.50 was a good deal. And then here's what the AT-AT driver drives. This is the ESB packaging for the Skywalker with the insert, used sticker sheet plus the instruction manual. That one sold for $310. That was free shipping as well. Next up, I got some other last 17 figures. This was EV99 with the collector's coin. $390 on one bid, free shipping. We had another EV99 with the coin as well as the card back. That one sold over in Australia for $410 plus shipping. That one looked very mint as well. That figure looked mint. The coin looked really clean. Next up, Yakface. This one was not mint whatsoever. I'm just shocked this one sold, but you can see how rough condition it was. And it had boot rubs. It had hand rubs. And it also did have the yellowing to the torso, which is something we talk about in my loose complete videos, is to make sure that it doesn't have that yellowing. This one apparently did sell in a buy it now situation for $627. Don't pay that. Don't pay that. This is worth like $300 max. I would not pay $627 for that. I've seen some AFA graded examples go for $600 to $650. So this one to me was a drastic overpay. It was not worth anywhere near that number. Next up was R2-D2, the last 17 version with the pop-up lightsaber, obviously a yellowed sticker. That one sold for $542 in a buy it now situation. And then here was another one that sold over in the UK in an auction that I would argue is in probably better condition. Less yellowing to the sticker. It did have some kind of discoloration at the top of that sticker there, but the sticker itself was in much better condition than this one. So again, that one was a buy it now here in the US for $542. This one in an auction sold for $465. So don't overpay, for some of these last 17 figures especially. These are not that hard to find. Next up, another last 17 figure. This was Luke Skywalker in his Stormtrooper disguise with, I believe, is the correct black blaster. Luke was in really good shape, no yellowing that I could see there, and it also included the card back along with the sealed coin. That one was listed for $750 plus $10 shipping. There was a make an offer option that was accepted. I forgot to look it up before I started this video, so I apologize for that. But $750 was the list price on that one. Best offer accepted. Next up was a Hollow Cheeks Tusken Raider. It was not perfect. It was obviously had a lot of not sticker wear, but paint wear to the eyes, the cheeks, as well as the horns. So this is probably like a 60 or a 70 grade. But this is a nice bottom of the barrel price for a Hollow Cheeks Tusken Raider. It sold for $203.50 in cleaner condition. You can probably expect to pay $350 to $450. Graded examples can sell north of $600, as high as $850. But this is a nice, kind of budget-friendly example if you're into variants. $203.50 for, a very beater example of the Hollow Cheeks. Some Collector carrying cases sold. First was the Hoth in the upper right-hand corner ESB packaging, and it was very clean. It did not have any, stickers or anything, but the trays were in really great shape. It was used, but that one sold for $143.75. The harder to find example is the Return of the Jedi, which is weird, right? You would think that the Return of the Jedi carrying case would be the easiest to find, but it's not the case. The Return of the Jedi carrying case is very tough to find, especially in this cleaning condition. You do not see this one very regularly. Great box art on that one, and that one sold for $402.50, as it probably should. AFA graded examples that are still factory sealed, I've seen them go for over $1,000. So this one obviously is used, but really good shape, and really great to see that one. This is the first time I've seen one of these in a while on the channel. So $402.50 was the final sales price on that. We did have a Zukus 3rd generation Polish bootleg. I just showed you guys a recent CAS graded 1st generation example that I just got back from CAS. This one sold, it was listed for $85. Again, I forgot to look up the sales price, but I've seen them in the bootleg group. This particular color variation for the 3rd gen go for double that price in the Facebook group. So I thought that was a really good price for a 3rd generation gold yellow version. Again, if you see the lime green version of the 3rd generation Zukus get listed for sale, please message me or send me an email, actionfiguregrader@gmail.com. I've been trying to find that one for years, and I still have not found that one. But anyway, this is the more common gold and yellow, like the one I have in my collection that's graded CAS 80+ that I just showed you in a recent unboxing video. Great deal, though, for $85 or best offer accepted. And then finally is the 1985 Power of the Force Ewok Battle Wagon. This one was advertised as complete, and it sold for $435 plus $12 shipping. So pretty good deal on that one. No yellowing to the skull, which is a common problem for the Ewok Battle Wagon. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at recent loose complete sales for action figures, play sets, vehicles, and creatures. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll be back soon.